In the swirling chaos of our world today, fear often feels like a constant companion. It lurks in the shadows of our thoughts, whispering doubts and enticing us to relinquish hope. Yet what if I told you that there exists a magnificent truth that can banish that fear? One that radiates strength and courage into our hearts. This truth is simple yet profound. When God is in control, fear loses its grip, and in its place we find the warm embrace of faith. Join me on a journey today as we delve into the power of belief, the beauty of surrender, and the peace that envelops us when we trust in a higher plan. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, raindrops pelting your skin, the wind howling fiercely around you. In that moment, it can be all too easy to feel overwhelmed and alone. But what if, instead of bracing against the winds of fear, we chose to lift our eyes to the heaven? When God is in control, we discover that there is a refugee waiting for us, a calm that transcends the storms of life. Just as the eye of a hurricane offers tranquility amidst chaos, trusting in God allows us to experience a profound peace. This peace reminds us that no matter how fierce the winds may blow, we are anchored in love, guided by grace. Surrender is a word that often evokes feelings of vulnerability, an admission of weakness in a world that prizes strength. But surrendering to God is different. It is not a sign of frailty, but a testament to our faith. Each time we lay our fears at His feet, we gain strength. Picture a child clutching a toy, fearful that it might be taken away. Yet when a loving parent offers a richer gift, the child, through gentle encouragement, learns to release the old for something far greater. As we learn to surrender our burdens, we start to see that holding on to fear only keeps us from the abundant blessings God has in store. Believe this, God does not just take our fears. He replaces them with hope, purpose, and joy. In life's greatest uncertainties, what guides us? Is it our fear of the unknown, or can it be something more profound, something more liberating? Faith becomes our compass, directing us through the fog of doubt and anxiety. Imagine being lost in a dense forest, the trees thick and imposing around you. Without a compass, every direction seems equally inhospitable. Yet grasping that compass of faith can illuminate the path ahead. Each step taken in faith removes a layer of fear, shedding light on the journey that lies before us. With God navigating our course, we learn to trust that every twist and turn has a purpose. Embrace that faith, for it can lead you to places you could never have imagined. Life is full of uncertainties, jobs that may not last, relationships that may waver, and health that can falter. Such uncertainties can cast shadows of fear over our minds. Yet what if we could reframe our thinking? Instead of viewing uncertainty as a source of anxiety, we can learn to see it as fertile ground for growth. When we accept that life's unpredictability is an invitation to develop resilience and character, we open ourselves to the beauty of possibility. It is in the unknown where God often reveals His grand designs, crafting our stories in ways that exceed our wildest dreams. When we release the need for certainty and embrace the journey, we find ourselves buoyed by hope, unconcerned by fear. In our darkest moments, the light of community can pierce through and provide the support we need. God has orchestrated relationships in our lives, friends, family, mentors, who act as vessels of His love and encouragement. When we gather together, sharing our burdens and fears, we are reminded that we are not alone in our struggles. Whether it is through a heartfelt conversation, a simple text to check in, or a group prayer, the beauty of community fosters connection and comfort. Each person we encounter can be a testament to God's presence and control, reminding us of His goodness. Let us not forget the power of unity as we stand together, leaning on one another, fortified by faith. Amidst life's trials, there exists a treasure trove of promises within the Scriptures. God's word serves as a lifeline, rich with assurance and hope. Each promise shines like a beacon, illuminating paths through the dark valleys of uncertainty. It's as if he penned each verse specifically for our moments of doubt, inviting us to fear not and trust in his sovereign plan. As we lean into these promises, fear begins to dissipate like morning mist in the presence of the rising sun. When we cling to what God has spoken, we anchor our souls in unshakable hope, fueling our faith as we navigate life's unpredictable waters. There's something incredibly reassuring about presence. Just knowing that someone cares enough to be with you can turn a daunting situation into a bearable one. When we acknowledge God's presence in our lives, we begin to realize that we are never truly alone. Every whispered prayer, every moment spent in quiet reflection opens the door to an intimate relationship with our Creator. In those instances of divine connection, fear melts away, replaced by a sense of safety. It's reminiscent of being in the embrace of a loved one, where the world's worries fade into the background. Carry this promise in your heart. No matter where we find ourselves, God's presence is a steadfast companion, now and forever. Sometimes the fiercest trials are the catalysts for our most profound transformations. Like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, we often must endure hardships to greet the beauty that lies ahead. When God is in control, he takes our struggles and molds them into something extraordinary. Each moment of fear becomes an opportunity for growth. Each tear shed a step towards a brighter tomorrow. Trust in this divine transformation and witness how your circumstances can shift before your very eyes, turning despair into hope and anxiety into peace. As we believe in this process, we are invited to surrender our timelines to God, allowing him to create masterpieces from the remnants of our fears. Much like a melody that lingers in our hearts, faith can become our anthem, one that resonates through our struggles and triumphs alike. It is a reminder of our identity as beloved children of God, called to live boldly despite the fear surrounding us. Let this anthem be a rallying cry against the doubts that try to invade our minds. Each note of faith becomes powerful fuel, propelling us forward even when the path ahead seems shrouded in darkness. As we sing this song, we rise with courage, celebrating the strength that comes from unwavering belief in God's sovereignty. Let your heart join together with others in singing this anthem, offering encouragement and igniting hope in every listener. As we journey through life, it's essential to pause and engage in moments of reflection. These sacred moments provide space for us to connect with our thoughts and often hear God's quiet voice whispering reassurances into our souls. During periods of uncertainty, taking a step back allows us to reevaluate our focus. Are we clinging to fear, or are we embracing the unknown with God by our side? In this stillness, we can lay before him our worries, trusting that he listens intently and desires to lift our burden. Reflection not only nurtures growth, but opens our eyes to the myriad ways God works in our lives, shifting our focus from our limitations to his boundless power. Prayer is our lifeline, a channel through which we connect with the heart of God. Each prayer we utter, whether spoken aloud or quietly felt in our hearts, is a declaration of our reliance on him. In every moment of fear, God invites us to cast our anxieties upon him through prayer. Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean, your fears much like the waves crashing against the shore. Yet, when you release those fears into the tide of God's power, they become as distant as the horizon. Prayer transforms the narrative of fear into one of hope, creating a divine exchange where we receive reassurance for our struggles. In every prayer, remind yourself that you are heard and that God is always in control. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to fear, a simple practice that can reorient our hearts and minds toward God's goodness. When life becomes overwhelming, taking a moment to count our blessings can shift our perspective dramatically. Instead of fixating on what we lack or what frightens us, gratefulness invites us to recognize the abundance that surrounds us. This act of thanksgiving serves as a reminder that even in darkness, God's light shines brightly through the smallest of gifts. A kind word, a warm smile, the beauty of nature. As we choose to thank God for all his provisions, we fortify our spirits and rise above the clutches of fear. Healing is often a journey filled with ups and downs, marked by moments of triumph and sorrow. In those times when we deal with emotional or physical pain, our fears can seem insurmountable. However, when we allow God's presence to flow through us, healing becomes a transformative process. It's not just about getting back to where we once were. It's about emerging stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Consider a shattered vase transformed into art. Each crack tells a story of enduring grace and beauty. Trust the journey of healing, for it is in these moments that God reveals not only his faithfulness, but also the glimmers of hope that can lead us beyond our fears. Every challenging circumstance carries within it the seeds of new perspectives. When we face fear, it often feels like standing at the foot of a towering mountain, our vision obscured by trepidation. But standing on the summit, the view becomes breathtaking. God invites us to climb alongside him, promising that our fears will dissipate as he shifts our perspective. When we change our focus from the size of the obstacles to the greatness of our God, fear loses its power. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to see his faithfulness in action, reminding us that our struggles are but temporary and victory is always within reach. Trusting God is a lesson learned over time, a journey woven with both clarity and uncertainty. Think of a child who leaps into their parents' arms, trusting completely that they will be caught. Even in those moments when it feels like life is asking us to take a leap of faith, God calls us to trust him wholeheartedly. Each step of obedience in the face of fear cultivates deeper roots in our faith. Trust is not the absence of fear. Rather, it is the decision to move forward despite it. As we learn to trust God with the details of our lives, we cultivate a sense of adventure, walking hand in hand with him through life's exhilarating paths. In moments of doubt, we must anchor ourselves in the affirmation of God's control. While our surroundings may seem chaotic and out of hand, he remains sovereign, orchestrating all things for good. Reflect on a masterful conductor guiding an orchestra. Despite the myriad of sounds and instruments, he controls the symphony with grace. Likewise, God is the conductor of our lives, pulling together every discordant note into a beautiful melody. Remind yourself that when challenges arise, they do not define you or your future. In fact, they are part of a greater symphony that is unfolding under his watchful eye. With each note played, trust that something new and wonderful is being created. Each generation has the opportunity to pass down a legacy of hope, influencing futures far beyond their timelines. When we share stories of God's faithfulness through our struggles, we inspire the next generation to embrace faith over fear. It's powerful to recount moments where faith triumphed over the storms of doubt, testimonies that serve as a reminder of God's presence in every trial. Just as a candle lights another, our stories illuminate the paths ahead, encouraging others to trust and believe. It's essential to weave hope into the fabric of our conversations and lives, a beautiful legacy that will echo through time. As we journey deeper into the understanding of when God is in control and fear succumbs to faith, we turn our eyes to the written word. The scriptures are filled with powerful declarations that remind us of God's unwavering support and love. Verses like, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, become lifelines in times of distress." These words serve as armor, equipping us with the truth that God hears us and is actively involved in our lives. When fear rises, let his promises echo in your heart, reminding you of his capability to turn trials into triumphs, pain into purpose, and despair into purpose, and despair into hope. When we find ourselves ensnared by fear, it's crucial to shift our perspective. Imagine viewing fear as a mountain that looms large in the distance, casting a shadow over our ability to see the light. But what if we began to see that mountain as an opportunity rather than a barrier? Every challenge we face can be transformed into a stepping stone for growth. Allow God to help you reframe your thoughts, to see that obstacles can become opportunities for miracles. When we face our fears through the lens of faith, we discover that these trials can lead us to deeper intimacy with God. He can take our struggles and turn them into monuments of faith that inspire others. Fear often dims our creativity, discouraging us from reaching for dreams and passions that God has placed within us. However, when we choose to trust God, we unleash the potential for His creativity in our lives. Take a moment to think like a painter with a blank canvas, initially daunted by the possibilities. Yet with each stroke, the fear transforms into beauty as the masterpiece unfolds. God calls us to step into the unknown, to push past fear and explore the vastness of our potential. It is in those moments of courage that we find our true selves, crafted uniquely by the Creator. Let your fears become fuel for your passion as God transforms uncertainty into beauty. History teaches us that countless miracles occurred when individuals chose to trust God amidst fear. Consider the story of Peter walking on water. It was only when he looked at the waves around him that he began to sink, but it was faith that lifted him as Jesus stretched out His hand. In our own lives, when fear threatens to engulf us, we must remember that we serve a God of miracles. He specializes in the extraordinary, interlacing our lives with moments of divine intervention when we trust Him. As you navigate your fears, expect miracles, small and large, and allow each experience to affirm your faith in God's unfailing promise to catch you when you fall. At the heart of the battle against fear is love, God's enduring love for us and our love for Him and others. Love casts out fear, serving as a powerful weapon in our spiritual arsenal. When we allow love to guide our actions and thoughts, it becomes a shield against anxiety. Picture a superhero surrounded by their loving community, emboldening them to face any challenge that arises. Similarly, God equips us with love, cherishing our hearts and empowering us to love others despite fear's influence. The more we choose love, the more we create a ripple effect, impacting lives and fostering courage all around us. Believe in the transformative power of love, both given and received, as you confront the uncertainties of life. Often, fear arises from past hurt, resentment, or guilt that we struggle to release. The journey of forgiveness is essential to our emotional and spiritual health. Allowing God to heal these wounds liberates us from the chains that bind us in fear. Picture a flower breaking through a concrete wall. It symbolizes resilience and the beauty of new beginnings. By seeking forgiveness both for ourselves and extending it to others, we embrace the opportunity to begin anew. This divine act of releasing bitterness cultivates an atmosphere of grace and peace within us. Remember that forgiveness is not about condoning the past, but about reclaiming your future, a future free from fear, where love reigns supreme. In life's most tumultuous moments, reassurances from God serve as a steady anchor. It's as if He stands before us gently whispering words of comfort that reach deep into our souls. Reflect on the times you felt the presence of God surrounding you during your trials. Each shared experience, whether a calm in the storm or clarity amidst confusion, enforces the truth that He is ever present. When fear threatens to overwhelm your spirit, remind yourself of His promises and the assurances He provides. Knowing that God's character is one of love, faithfulness, and justice enables us to face our fears boldly, carrying with us the confidence that He is in control. As we continue to build our faith, it's crucial to recognize that gratitude can flourish even in the most challenging of times. Practicing gratitude shifts our perspective from fear to appreciation, revealing blessings we may have otherwise overlooked. Consider maintaining a gratitude journal chronicling what you are thankful for, not only during good times but especially when life feels heavy. Each entry becomes a token of remembrance, a chronicle of God's faithfulness as you face your fears. This practice encourages you to focus on the positives, cultivating resilience and fostering a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Embracing gratitude invites hope, allowing you to flourish amidst life's uncertainties. Life is characterized by seasons. Some bring sunshine and warmth, while others feel barren and cold. However, God's control and eternal promise remind us that no season lasts forever. Just as winter gives way to spring, our seasons of fear and struggle will eventually transition into periods of peace and abundance. It's essential to recognize the transient nature of our circumstances, embracing the beauty of each season. In times of difficulty, hold on to the hope that your winter will pass and be ready to receive the blooms of spring. Each season serves its divine purpose in sharpening our faith and deepening our relationship with God. Fear often serves as a compass, guiding us to places where we need growth or deeper understanding. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze us, we can learn to confront it and extract valuable lessons. Reflect on your fears. What do they reveal about your current situation? Are there areas of your life that require change or confrontation? Through prayer and introspection, seek God's guidance in understanding what your fear is teaching you. As you grapple with each fear, let it mold you into a more resilient, compassionate version of yourself. Embrace the learning journey, trusting God to illuminate your path and clarify the lessons hidden within your fears. Ultimately, the journey is about finding profound peace in knowing that God is in control. It is a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that embraces us even amidst the most turbulent storm. Picture a serene oasis in the desert where the refreshing waters quench the thirst of parched souls. This is what it feels like when we rest in God's promises. As we cultivate our faith and trust in Him, we discover that peace isn't the absence of fear. Rather, it's the presence of God guiding us through it. Carry this peace within you, a testament to your unwavering belief, and let it spill over in the lives of those around you. As we wrap up this exploration of faith over fear, remember that God holds your future in His hands. While today may feel fraught with fear, tomorrow may be filled fraught with fear. Tomorrow may be filled with promise and possibility. He knows the plans He has for you, plans to prosper and not to harm, plans to give you hope and a future. Embrace the unknown with a heart full of faith, choosing to believe that His goodness will always prevail. Each day is a new opportunity to step further into that future, to face your fears with courage, and to embrace the incredible life He has designed for you. In trusting Him with every aspect of your life, you unlock the doors to an abundant journey filled with love, peace, and infinite possibilities. Hold tight to hope and step boldly into all that awaits